You know that feeling when you're lying in bed, scrolling through your phone, fully aware you have a dozen things to do, but you just can't bring yourself to move? Yeah, me too. Here's the thing though, you're not lazy. Because what if I told you that laziness as we understand it doesn't actually exist? That it's a myth we've been sold our entire lives? And that what we call lazy is actually your brain doing something incredibly intelligent? What's up everyone? You are watching Learniq Psychology. And today we are breaking down the psychology behind laziness. The laziness myth. Let's start with a hard truth. When you call someone lazy, what you're really saying is, I don't understand why you're not doing what I think you should be doing. It's a judgment, a label, and like most labels, it's oversimplified and usually wrong. Dr. Devin Price, a social psychologist, wrote an entire book debunking laziness. It's called Laziness Does Not Exist. And the core argument is simple but revolutionary. Every behavior has a cause. When someone isn't doing something, there's always a reason. Fear, exhaustion, lack of resources, unclear goals, burnout, depression, anxiety, trauma. But we don't see those things. We just see the behavior. So we slap on the label lazy and move on. What your brain is really doing. This is where Carl Jung comes in. Jung talked about the concept of the shadow, the parts of ourselves we reject or don't want to acknowledge. For many of us, laziness lives in the shadow. We hate it. We're ashamed of it. We pretend it doesn't exist. But Jung would argue that your shadow isn't your enemy. It's trying to tell you something. Your laziness is a message from your unconscious mind. It's saying, hey, something's wrong here. We need to stop and figure this out. Maybe you're doing work that doesn't align with your values. Maybe you're burned out and haven't admitted it yet. Maybe you're afraid of failing, so you're not even trying. The behavior we call laziness is often a form of self-protection. Your psyche knows something you don't want to consciously admit. The fear factor. Here's the psychological truth. Procrastination is often anxiety in disguise. Dr. Tim, a leading researcher on procrastination, found that we don't procrastinate because we're lazy. We procrastinate to avoid negative emotions, boredom, frustration, self-doubt, resentment. The task itself makes us feel bad, so we avoid it. We find something, anything else to do instead. Scrolling through social media feels better than writing that email. Watching Netflix feels better than studying for that exam. Staying in bed feels better than facing a job you hate. Your brain gets a little hit of relief, a little escape from the discomfort, but it's not sustainable. And deep down, you know it, which creates even more anxiety, which makes you avoid even more, which creates a vicious cycle that looks a whole lot like laziness, but is actually a trauma response to stress. The exhaustion epidemic. We live in a culture that glorifies hustle. Rise and grind. Sleep when you're dead. No days off. And if you're not constantly productive, you're lazy. But here's what nobody tells you. Human beings aren't designed to be productive machines. We're designed to rest, to recover, to have downtime. Now we work 40, 50, 60 hours a week. We're on call 24/7 thanks to technology. We check emails at midnight. We feel guilty for taking vacation days. The World Health Organization officially recognized burnout as an occupational phenomenon in 2019. It's characterized by three things: exhaustion, cynicism, and reduced professional efficacy. Sound familiar? When you're burned out, even small tasks feel impossible. Getting out of bed is hard. Showering is hard. Responding to a text message is hard. The shame spiral. Let's talk about shame for a second, because shame is the silent killer of productivity. When you label yourself as lazy, you're not motivating yourself. You're shaming yourself. Brené Brown, a researcher who's spent decades studying shame, defines it as the intensely painful feeling that we are unworthy of love and belonging. When you internalize the label lazy, you start to believe there's something fundamentally wrong with you. You stop trying, because why bother? You're just lazy. It's who you are. This is called a fixed mindset, and it's one of the most destructive psychological patterns you can fall into. The path forward. So, how to deal with all this? First, stop using the word lazy. Seriously, ban it from your vocabulary. Replace it with curiosity. When you notice yourself avoiding something, ask, what am I actually feeling right now? Fear? Name it. Any confusion? Clarify it. Second, start small. Ridiculously small. Don't tell yourself you're going to work out for an hour. Tell yourself you're going to put on your workout clothes. That's it. Action creates motivation. But the action has to be small enough that it doesn't trigger resistance. Third, rest on purpose. If you're going to rest anyway, and you are, because you're human, rest intentionally. Schedule it. Don't shame yourself for it. Fourth, examine your goals. Are you avoiding something because you're lazy, or because deep down you don't actually want it? Jung believed that many of our problems come from living someone else's life, pursuing someone else's definition of success, following someone else's script. Maybe what you call laziness is your authentic self refusing to play along anymore. The deeper truth. If you try to understand that you're a human being navigating an increasingly complex, overstimulating world that was not designed with your well-being in mind, and really internalize it, everything changes. Your need for rest isn't weakness. Your desire for ease isn't moral failure. It's human nature. When you stop pathologizing these things and start listening to them, they become guides instead of enemies. So maybe you're not lazy. You're overwhelmed. You're tired. You're human. And that's not something to fix. It's something to understand. So lastly, tell me what's the thing you've been avoiding the longest. And if you're being totally honest with yourself, what's the real reason you haven't done it yet? Comment. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to like and subscribe. Your little support on Patreon can really help me produce more amazing content. Until next video, keep learning.